Lawmaker working on a bill is Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn, who joins us now. I want to talk about this important bill you're working on with respect to the pharmaceutical companies and us making drugs here. But I want to get your reaction to what we just heard from Nancy Pelosi, saying that she's not going to hang around if the Republicans and she's trying to drive a pretty hard bargain. But I think the country is watching D.C. more now than ever before.
I think you're exactly right, Charles, and the fact that she would take the week off, that she would even, we heard rumors earlier that they were talking about not coming back until after Easter. You know, I got to tell you, Congress should be here and Congress should be working. We need to address this. We need to figure out how we're going to deal with it. It is a serious public health issue. The president was right to stop flights from China early. Thank goodness he did. I was not surprised at all to see flights coming out of the EU to be blocked. I think that could have been done probably a little bit earlier. I think it's appropriate that we not take meetings in our office, that we begin to handle these by teleconference, that we not have tours in the Capitol, but that members of the House and Senate show up, do our job, and figure out how we're going to best address this. It's going to be a team effort, not only with the executive and the legislative branch, but us working with our states and our local governments so that we flatten the curve on this, that we limit the community spread.
And to that point, it feels like this is beginning like a traditional Republican versus Democrat negotiations where everything is on the table, including things that are non-starters. Right. Edward Lawrence has went over $1 billion for SNAP, a lot more money for paid sick leave, expanding Social Security, unemployment insurance, COVID-19 testing, free testing. On the other end, President Trump saying he thinks a payroll tax cut would be wonderful, which, by the way, when President Obama was in office, Democrats used to love that idea, so now they don't. Does America have time for this to start off as a traditional negotiation? Because the clock is ticking.
I have to tell you, I've heard from so many mothers and women who are looking at this pushback and trying to politicize the virus and politicize the response. This is a public health issue. This is when people should come together and say, let's figure out how we're going to handle this so that we minimize the impact, so that we are working together to find the antivirals that are going to work, and that we're going to be able to bring vaccines back into this country. We're not manufacturing those. That is a part of this problem. All of our essential pharmaceutical ingredients are manufactured where? China. And we have one company that does penicillins and antibiotics, and they're in the affected area. So what has happened? That whole company has shut down. So these are issues that need our attention right now, not in 5 weeks.
Aren't you heading a bipartisan bill
that
would actually address this issue? How would this change the idea? By the way, there should be a general epiphany amongst American businesses overall that the idea of taking millions of American jobs and shipping them to China to save a few pennies has backfired miserably. But more specifically, for these U.S. pharma companies, what would you do to help them bring some of these ingredients back here so that we're not left in this precarious perch ever again?
That's right. And my friend, Senator Menendez from New Jersey, he and I have this legislation. It is called Securing America's Medicine Cabinet, the SAMC Act. This would allow that research to take place on advanced pharmaceutical manufacturing. We would do this through expanding a division of the FDA, and it would put the emphasis on bringing back these active pharmaceutical ingredients. They're called APIs, bringing that back on shore so that we don't get into issues that are a national security issue, a national public health issue, and not be able to get the pharmaceuticals that we need in order to address it. And Charles, a great example of some research in Tennessee at the Oak Ridge National Labs. They took the supercomputer, fastest in the world, they put in all the decades of research from the coronavirus family, and they entered that. They came out with 77 drug products that could be effective against this. So it did years worth of scientific research, crunching it down to target some of this to help our scientists find what's going to work.
Well, Senator, as usual, thank you so much for your leadership.
Thank you.
And
Good
being
to be
so
with you.
forward-looking. Thank you. We'll see you again real soon.